the day they saw who he really was. Tyler Grayson kept his head down as he stepped into the bustling cafeteria of Rosefield High, a tray balanced in trembling hands. At 15, he was lanky and unremarkable, barely 5 feet 7 inches, with a soft belly, arms that seemed slightly too long, and mousy brown hair that refused to be tamed. His shoulders slouched inward, as if apologizing for taking up space. But what set him apart, what he hated most, was the stutter. Not a slight, charming hesitation, but a full, twisting impediment that clutched at his words and refused to let go. It was his third school in 2 years. His father's job in corporate security meant constant relocations, and Tyler had long since given up on making friends or settling in. Just survive. Just don't be noticed. That had become his mantra. Unfortunately, that wasn't working at Rosefield. "CC, can I sit here?" Tyler asked, gesturing toward a half-filled table. The students looked up, exchanged knowing glances. Then came the voice, smug and cruel. "SS sure thing, SS Stutter Boy," said Cody Blake, the school's wrestling captain, his voice drawn out in mockery. Laughter erupted around the table. Tyler froze, instantly recognizing Cody, the golden boy of Rosefield High. 2-time state wrestling champ, face on the school's recruitment posters, a god among teenage boys. And always by his side were his ever-loyal shadows, Nick, the wiry track runner who laughed at everything Cody said, and Wyatt, a human wall of muscle whose only role seemed to be echoing Cody's jabs with a dumb grin. Tyler turned, clutching his tray tighter, and found refuge at an empty table in the corner. It was always like this. Keep quiet. Blend in. No one needed to know the truth, that for the past 8 years, Tyler had been training in mixed martial arts. That his father, a former UFC fighter, had taught him everything from footwork to ground control. That Tyler was currently ranked second nationally for his age group in amateur MMA. No one needed to know that. Cody, of course, didn't stop at mockery. He had a sixth sense for finding Tyler, in the locker room, in hallways, even after gym class. "G got the English homework. T-Ty?" Cody would taunt as Nick and Wyatt flanked him. Tyler would always give in. Fighting back meant making things worse. Drawing attention. His father's voice echoed in his mind. "Pick your battles, son. Not every punch is worth throwing." So Tyler handed over his homework. Said nothing when his head was slapped, his books knocked from his hands, his lunch spilled on purpose. Each act of cruelty chipped away at something inside him, but he told no one. Until the day he didn't. That morning, Tyler sat with his head bowed as Cody tripped him in the cafeteria, sending his lunch crashing spectacularly to the floor. The silence that followed was immediate and deafening, then the laughter. Tyler sat in the wreckage of milk, spaghetti, and shame. Cody's voice rose again. "Maybe if you CC could talk right, you'd walk better too." Miss Reyes, the cafeteria monitor, walked over, asking what had happened. Tyler had a choice. "I tripped," he said softly. Later that week, during a garage training session, his father David Grayson called him out. "Your footwork's off. Your strikes are weak." "What's going on?" "Nothing," Tyler muttered. David looked at him. Not tall, but built like a steel trap. He had that way of seeing through lies with just one look. "Bull, talk to me." So Tyler told him everything. About Cody, Nick, Wyatt. About the cafeteria incident. David listened, eyes narrowing, jaw tight. "I taught you to defend yourself, not be a bully," he said at last. "But I didn't raise you to be a punching bag either. They're standing down, and they're standing up. Maybe it's time you let them see who you really are." Tyler hesitated. "If I fight back, it'll just make me a target." "Not if you fight where it counts," his father replied. "Let them see what happens when you step into your world, not theirs." A week later, flyers appeared in the school corridors. Southwest Regional Junior MMA Championship. Hosted right in Rosefield. Tyler signed up. The secretary looked at him as though he'd asked to fight a dragon. "You sure about this, sweetheart? These matches are tough." "I'm sure." Word spread fast. By lunch, the entire cafeteria was buzzing. Cody cornered him near the vending machines. "You? In that tournament?" Tyler looked him straight in the eye. "Yeah. Dude, you can't even finish a sentence." "I like the sport," Tyler said simply. Cody sneered, shaking his head. "I'm coming to watch. Can't wait to see you cry in front of a crowd." Tyler just nodded. "You should. You might learn something." The day of the tournament arrived bright and cold. Tyler stepped into the prep area, where other teens were warming up, shadowboxing, grappling with coaches, stretching. He moved with quiet confidence, his body loose, eyes calm. David Grayson stood beside him. "You ready?" Tyler nodded. Then he spotted them, Cody, Nick, Wyatt, along with half the student body from Rosefield. Samira Lynn, the sharp-tongued girl with the locker next to his, gave him a small wave. "Your fan club?" his father asked with a smirk. Not exactly. The first match was called. Tyler's opponent was long-limbed and quick, all aggressive energy. But Tyler was quicker, calmer, more precise. He countered every move, ducked every strike, and within 90 seconds had the kid locked in a triangle choke. Tap out. Applause broke out. Not from the Rosefield section, though. There, mouths hung open. The next match? Same story. And the next. By the time Tyler entered the finals, more than 30 students from Rosefield were in the stands, including teachers. Word had spread. Stutter Boy could fight. The final match was grueling. 3 rounds of relentless action. But Tyler stayed focused, evading, striking, adapting. In the last 30 seconds, he flipped the champion onto his back and locked in an armbar that forced a submission. The crowd exploded. Cody sat frozen, unable to process what he'd seen. Samira cheered like it was the Super Bowl. Even Nick and Wyatt stayed quiet. On Monday, the school halls looked different. Heads turned when Tyler walked past, but with awe, not mockery. Strangers asked him about training. Teachers smiled. Samira high-fived him at his locker. "You're like a secret ninja," she said. "Why didn't you ever say anything?" Tyler shrugged. Never came up. Then Cody approached, no swagger in sight. He stopped a few feet away, looking unsure. "You're really good," he said. "I know. You could have, done something. To me. All those times." "I could have," Tyler said, meeting his gaze. "Why didn't you?" Tyler thought for a long moment. "Because fighting belongs in the ring, not in hallways." Cody blinked, then slowly extended his hand. "I was a jerk. I'm sorry." For the first time since arriving at Rosefield, Tyler truly smiled. He shook Cody's hand. "Fresh start." "Yeah, fresh start." That spring, Rosefield High added a new trophy to its display, State Junior MMA Champions. Front and center in the photo was Tyler Grayson, no longer the quiet kid in the corner, but the team captain. His stutter didn't vanish, but something else did, the fear. He knew now that his voice mattered, even if it came out broken. And every day in the cafeteria, there was always room at Tyler's table for anyone who needed a seat or a second chance. "You know," Samira said one day over lunch, "I still don't get it. You let them bully you for months. You could have crushed them." Tyler looked at her thoughtfully. "Sometimes strength isn't about how you fight. It's knowing when not to." At the next table, Cody heard and nodded. Tyler smiled. The real Tyler Grayson had always been there. He'd just been waiting for the right moment to step into the ring. That week, something unexpected happened. Coach Reynolds, the varsity wrestling coach at Rosefield, tracked Tyler down between 6th and 7th period. A no-nonsense man with a buzz cut and the posture of a retired Marine, he didn't do small talk. "You've got mat sense," he said gruffly, stepping into Tyler's path by the stairwell. Tyler blinked. Sorry. Don't apologize. I'm offering you a spot. You ever wrestle?" Tyler shook his head. Just MMA." Coach Reynolds nodded. "That's more than enough. We need someone like you. Think about it." Word traveled faster than wildfire. Tyler Grayson, the stuttering kid, was being recruited to wrestle. The whispers came, but they were different now. No laughter. Just curiosity. Respect. Some disbelief. That afternoon, Tyler found himself back in the garage with his dad. "You gonna do it?" David asked. "I don't know," Tyler said, slowly wrapping his wrists. "It's not the fighting I'm afraid of." David paused, watching him. "It's that once people know. I can't go back to being invisible." David leaned in. "Why would you want to?" Tyler didn't answer, but something settled in his chest, not quite certainty, but direction. The next morning, he signed up. Wrestling practice wasn't like MMA. It was harder in different ways. The cardio was brutal. The holds tighter. The grind constant. But Tyler adapted fast. His strength surprised even the upperclassmen. His grip was vice-like. His takedowns were clean, almost clinical. No drama, no ego, just quiet execution. By mid-season, he was their secret weapon. Coach Reynolds put him into the varsity rotation by the 3rd match. By the 5th, he was undefeated. By the 8th, Cody was cheering from the sidelines, his own spot on the roster intact, but no longer the lone alpha. The dynamic had shifted. Cody had stopped seeing Tyler as a threat and started seeing him as a standard. They weren't best friends. They didn't hang out. But something deeper had settled, mutual recognition. And in high school, that was rarer than anyone admitted. But just as Tyler began to find his rhythm, life threw him a curveball. It started with whispers in the hallway. Did you hear about regionals? Cody's out. Tyler found out the truth 2 hours later. Cody had torn his ACL during warm-ups. Out for the season, maybe longer. Coach Reynolds called Tyler into his office. You're next. You're leading us into regionals. The room went quiet. Tyler sat there, hands shaking, his mind spiraling. It wasn't the match he feared. It was the weight, the spotlight, the pressure. What if I screw up? He said softly. Coach Reynolds leaned forward. Then you screw up. But you walk out there like you belong. Because you do. That night, Tyler couldn't sleep. At midnight, he crept out to the garage. The punching bag swayed silently in the corner. He didn't hit it. Instead, he stared at his reflection in the mirror, sweaty, messy, eyes wide. This is your ring, he whispered. Win or lose. Regionals came faster than expected. The gym was packed. Banners lined the walls. Rosefield High filed in with their signature red and black tracksuits. Tyler's name was printed on the roster in bold type. The moment he stepped onto the mat, the noise faded. Across from him was Grayson Elwood, state finalist last year. Massive, mean, undefeated. The referee whistled. Round 1 was brutal. Elwood lunged, grabbing Tyler in a clinch and slamming him down. The crowd groaned. Cody winced on the sideline, but Tyler got back up. Round 2, Tyler shifted tactics. He used his speed, his balance. He baited Elwood into overcommitting, then reversed it. A perfect throw. The gym exploded. Final round, 2-2. 30 seconds on the clock. Tyler circled. Breathed. His stutter had no place here. Here, he moved fluently. Then he saw the opening. A misstep from Elwood. Tyler shot forward, hooked the ankle, drove him down a slam. The referee dropped. 1, 2, 3. Whistle. Tyler Grayson stood, hand raised in the air. The gym erupted into applause. But it wasn't just noise. It was redemption. It was recognition. It was arrival. Afterward, in the locker room, as reporters snapped photos and teammates patted his back, Tyler sat quietly, wrapping his knee. Cody limped over on crutches. You know you just put us in the state finals, right? Tyler looked up. We. Cody grinned. Yeah, we. They nodded. Samira was waiting outside, earbuds in, arms crossed. You didn't even flinch, she said as they walked toward the bus. IW was terrified, Tyler admitted, laughing. But you still did it. I had to. Why? He looked at her. Because if I didn't, they'd still see me as that kid who couldn't talk right. She smiled. And now they see you as me, he said. Just me. Later that year, Rosefield High took home its first state wrestling championship in over a decade. Tyler was named Most Valuable Wrestler. He gave a short speech at the banquet. He stumbled a little, paused once, then finished. The room stood to applaud. He looked over at his father, who nodded. You finally found your voice, David said afterward. Tyler shook his head. No, Dad. I just stopped hiding it. From that day forward, no one called him Stutter Boy again. They called him Captain Grayson. And he made sure no one in that school ever had to eat lunch alone again.